Thank you.
So, and I'll give you an update too. I recently sent out a commercial campaign that just dropped last week, and I've already been getting calls from it. So I've dropped about, I don't know, maybe like 400 pieces in total. And so far, and I know it just started dropping last week because I'm starting to get the return mail. Actually, I'm starting to get the return mail. Wish I had a piece I can show y'all. But yeah, I'm starting to get the return mail, and it's and yeah, people are calling me. I've had about 4 people call so far off of about 400 pieces, and that was just last week. One of them not interested. She was like, "Oh, well, this is stuck in a trust," right? Another one talking about large land acquisitions, because that's something that I targeted is 20+ acre parcels of land. I had this guy, which we have a follow-up call this week, I'm really excited about, with 498 acres in Soddy Daisy, which is just out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, interested in selling, and he's talking about $10,000 an acre. So still got to look at that and stuff like that. But 498 acres. I didn't even know there was 498 acres of available land out here.
Yeah. Soddy Daisy is good too.
Yeah. And I looked it up. In PropStream. Like I found the record and stuff. And I'm like, no, this is really that kind of acreage out there.
Is 10 grand reasonable for that size, like that large of a plot? 10 grand per? That seems.
I would imagine he'd have to break that up. That's a lot of acreage.
I'm gonna look more into it. Well, I think it is broken up. I think like the one side of it's like 300 and something acres, and he's probably got another 100 and something acres attached. So I think it is kind of broken up a little bit, but it's still huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So we'll see how that goes.
Just to give you a point of reference. One county over from Nashville, decent suburbia, not prime streets or anything like that. You're looking at about a 100,000 an acre.
Wow.
Yeah, and to tell you what, I have ours under 19,000, so it's really all over the place, like land, depending on where it is, and all kinds of stuff. Like, does it have utilities from the city? Is it part of the city? It's really all over the place.
And then I guess if they've already gotten, different permits for building or gotten anything ready in terms of electricity or anything like that.
This is just raw land, I think, like unpermitted stuff that, right, Nick? That 400
raw land. I told him, if we do work something out, I'd need about a 90-day due diligence period. No, and I said I told him I need at least a 60-day due diligence period and 90 days to close.
What are you trying to do with the land, Nick? Flip?
Wholesale it probably. I'm not a developer, so maybe wholesale it to a developer or work with a developer on it. The land's just for wholesale.
And that's where your list came in, Nick, right? Like, talk about that.
Well,
like once you do find something.
Quick question. For the 4 calls out of 400 mailers, is that average, would you say, or pretty good?
That's just in the first week, though. Doesn't mean I'll still get some more calls. That was, I know it just dropped last week and I already got 4 calls. So they probably called as soon as they had the piece.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's really not bad because that's only 400 pieces.
Okay.
Right. That's what's that, 1%?
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
Okay.
So I guess you go into like how did you mail the letters out? Are you using a source, open market, like one of these letter campaigns?
Yep. I'm going to show you all of that stuff. Let me go ahead and scoot over just a bit and then we'll get kind of right into it so we don't lose time. Yeah, don't ask why I just did that, but I did. All right, here we go. So I'll start off by sharing my screen and then maybe somebody wants to guide me through their market, whether it's Gonzalo wants to guide me through his market and what he wants to look for, or I'll just show you what I got going on so far and then we'll talk about it. So I just need to share my screen.
You think we can start with Carolinas?
And I'll show you how we can skip trace them, and I'll show you where you can go to send them letter pieces and stuff like that.
Very nice.
Very affordable as well. So I think we need to allow the screen sharing.
Oh, sorry, Nick. Let me see if I can't do that. I think it's Mark. Sure.
While we wait though, does anybody have like any specific questions? What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull a list, right? I'm gonna show you how we target that list and filter down the criteria. And once we pull a list, and I'll show you the different type of lists we can pull, then we'll go ahead and I'll show you where you can take that list, export it, and then just send mail right away, or you can skip trace it as well for the phone numbers.
Well, you should be
You
good
said
now.
All right.
You were calling and sending mailers, so you did both?
I just sent mailers. I haven't called anybody yet. I
Okay.
just sent them. Now I have called some people on my driving for dollars because using the same software, let's say I see like an apartment building or something like that. I can literally on that same app, I can geotag it and I can see who the owner is and I can skip trace them right away and just call them. So I've called some people on the driving for dollars on some of the stuff that I've seen in the area.
Okay, that's cool.
So I'll show you what's up right here. So this is PropStream. And I've been using this in the residential space for a while, but it gives me access to even commercial data. And this software is only 99 bucks a month too as well. All right, so while this loads right now, okay, looks like I posted it out. I even got some recorded calls from like speaking to that guy from like the 300 and something acres as well. We talked for a good minute. There, I got like 15 million tabs up here. Yeah, okay, boom, boom. All right, so this is PropStream, and this hits anywhere in the US, so you can literally just target it by county, city, zip, anything like that, right? Hits anywhere in the US. And then we have all these different type of filters where we go down from like owner occupied to occupancy status to property characteristics, what type of property it is. And this is where we start to filter down the list. You know, if it's on the market, off the market, if it's bank owned or in pre-foreclosure, ownership info, if it's like individual, corporate, mixed trust. And this is where we're going to mess with the filters and stuff like that. If there's any liens on the property or anything like that, like if you're looking for motivation or you're not looking for motivation, right? Equity, if you're looking for equity or not equity, it just depends on what type of list you're working to create. I'll show you the list that I've already done and the ones that I'm hitting up right now, and then we'll target it in. So if I come in here, my properties, and what's cool is you can actually automate your list as well. So once you create a list, you can automate it. So if anybody falls within that criteria, like newer lead that falls within that criteria, I'll know about it immediately, right? So if I make a list, I only got to make it once. And then if anybody falls within the criteria of that list, I'll know about it as soon as they fall in that criteria. So let's say 5 years owned, 50% equity or more. I'm just saying, maybe somebody's 4.5 years owned and don't have 50% equity. The moment they fall into 5 years and 50% equity, I'm going to know about it. Right. So you can see like for my 20 acre plus vacant land parcels, right? This is one of them that I've done. I got 503 leads. So this is 20 acres plus, and I'm targeting all of the Chattanooga MSA area, as well as Knoxville, you can see, and Nashville. So Chattanooga, Knoxville, and Nashville. So this is everybody that owns 20 acres or plus land parcels in these three MSAs. And I got a list of 503. I mean, because we're targeting large tracts of land, right? And you can see already one of them has already became a new lead, and I already know about it in Sale Creek, right? Automatically. And then one of them is up for removal. Maybe they sold, maybe they did something else. They're not in that criteria anymore, right? So I already know that. That's really cool stuff. As well as I'm targeting right here. You'll see I'm targeting 5 units plus. So this is multifamily, 5 units plus mobile home parks, storage units in Chattanooga, right? And the Chattanooga MSA, same thing here, 5 units plus mobile home park storage units in Knoxville, right? 5 units plus in Nashville, right? Mobile home storage. So I'm targeting all those on one list. And then you can, once you have the data too, you can literally just kind of click it and it'll tell you exactly all the information on it. So like this one's apartments, see that? Tells you the estimated value as well. It'll tell you the last sold date. It'll tell you pretty much anything that you need to know. I mean, tax information, like literally you can get deeds and documents and stuff like that, right? The mortgage information, you can get, you know, who's their lender on it and stuff like that, right? You can get how much equity's in the property. There's a lot of information that you can get out of this, as well as, you know, square foot, the year built, you know, just pretty much everything you can get all right here. Just
And Nick, if you don't mind interrupting, the way that we did it, remember for the single family, we did like a very specific like filter for it, because I was looking for houses that were bought before, what do we do, like 2010 or 2015? It was 3 bedrooms, very specific, and it gave me like a list of like 45 or 50, and those are the ones that we did direct for, so we could apply something similar to this.
So we're gonna do that right now. So what, like, we can target all of North Carolina, or we can target a specific area of North Carolina. How would you want to start?
Let's start with a zip code and then maybe do a radius. Can we do that?
Okay.
Like within
We can
50
draw a
miles?
circle.
We
Yeah.
can draw a circle.
All right. What's the zip code?
29715.
So see, he's getting very dialed in by 29715. He's getting very dialed in by targeting a zip code. And for me, like, I get really broad by targeting an entire area and surrounding. Do you see what I'm saying? But you can literally make it as snipered in or as broad as you want. Right. But we'll start right here, 29715 South Carolina.
And then we can like make a draw, a pencil around it.
Right. So it starts off by just showing you all the properties in this entire zip code, right? And then this is where we filter it down, right? So we're going to go to our filter, or we can kind of zoom out right here. And if I could draw a circle as well. So you can see this is right outside of Charlotte, right? And so I can sit here and just kind of draw a circle if I wanted to, or I can just target this whole city. Let's just say I wanted to do.
Yeah, you can, I guess you can go all the way west to Monroe.
Monroe.
East to Monroe.
Monroe. I actually got a deal that I'm working in Monroe right now. A
Yeah,
house.
I've been there. It's not too far from
Monroe.
Charlotte.
Here we
It's
go.
to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. So you can go like all the way east to Monroe, and then
Okay.
we can hit all the way west to like where Gastonia area is up there. That's like Gaston County. And then we can go as far south as just past Rock Hill there.
I'm looking for Gastonia.
Top left. This is like by Belmont. You have Belmont. It's just
I
west
got you.
of Charlotte, Belmont, Gastonia.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can go there and then hit York, Rock Hill. So that's a good little circumference there.
So boom. Now it only, when you're drawing, you're only able to draw like a certain amount of space. So we'll see if this covers the space, and see 250 square miles on drawing, right? So this will only cover 250 square miles. So I knew that was looking pretty big, right? But let's just say I wanted to target just a zip code, right? Just to start, like I can target other zip codes as well, right? Or let's just say I wanted to target all of Charlotte, right? I could do that. Or the county. What county is this? That's what I would do.
York County.
I would probably just do York County. And those are probably all covering York County, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably how I would do
Uh,
it. So
Yeah, that's in South Carolina. So if you want to do the Gastonia and everything, that's a different county, and then Charlotte's a different county.
okay, so here we're doing all of York County, and you can see we got a ton of properties in York County, right? This is all the properties in general. So now we're just going to go ahead and start filtering. Since we're doing, what are we doing? Large land, or are we doing multifamily? Multifamily.
Yeah.
All right. So since we're doing multifamily, we don't care about owner occupied status. We don't care about occupancy status. We really care about property characteristics, right? So this is where you get into residential, commercial, office, industrial, all this stuff. But really, I'm going to come over. I don't really care about this because some of them could be commercial and some of them could be residential when it comes to multifamily, right? So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to tackle multifamily 5+ units. Let's see what we got. Hold up. Is there any 5+ units in York County?
Yeah, there should be. Yeah, definitely.
Let's dial it in a little bit more. I've never seen that. Let's do the zip code again.
29715.
29715. And let's go to, and South Carolina is not like a non-disclosure state, is it?
What does that mean?
Where they don't show certain data like sales prices and stuff like that?
I don't think so, because in Reonomy, I'm able to find information on properties.
All right, so I don't know why this is actually happening right now. Let me try something for Chattanooga real quick, because I just did that one. But I know I pulled. I just want to make sure it's not like a loading error. All right, so see right here, it's pulling up everything right here. So you can see like these apartment buildings and stuff like that. Everything, right? All of these. I don't know why it's not pulling up over there.
Try instead of the area code, try Gaston County, Gaston County, and that's in North Carolina. There we go.
So it pulls it up right here for some reason. I don't know why it wasn't pulling up the South Carolina though. So this is everything 5+ units. That's why I said I don't know if like that's like a non-disclosure state.
Yeah, maybe Fort Mill. I mean, it's Fort Mill is a lot of single family and small multi, like under 4. So probably.
Yeah, because I know it pulls records, and for some reason in that area it wasn't pulling anything over 5 units. All right, but so right here in Gaston County, North Carolina, it shows that we have 287 properties that are 5 units plus, period, right? So that's 287 in Gaston County, North Carolina. And then you can kind of click and preview some of them. Some of them, you don't see any images and stuff because it's never been on the market, right? When you see this stuff, it means it's probably been on the market before. That's why it's got like the photos and stuff like that, right? And you can see what it looks like and stuff like that. And you can also see, the last, see, this was on the MLS. It was sold 422. 422 was when it was listed. Transaction history. You can see it was sold 720 right here. And here's the documents and the loan information and stuff like that. Right. You can see who owns it. So this is actually under a personal name. So I can literally, from here, I can just skip trace this guy for 10 cents. Right.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
What is, can you scroll up a little bit? I noticed it was linked properties here. And I think in one of your other lists, like there's like 21 linked properties. And I don't know if that means like the owner also owns 21 other properties or if there's, 21 other loans from that bank or
yeah.
Like how should I be interpreting linked properties?
Let's look right here. Yep, 10 properties owned. So this guy owns 10 properties, and most likely they probably own other commercials or something. So He owns a single family, a condominium, single family apartment, condominium, single family, a quadplex, multifamily. So, you know, this guy has a little portfolio going on. And you
Got
can
it.
see
Thanks.
it's in different areas too. So North Carolina, California, LA, Louisiana. You see what I'm saying? You can see where they are too as well.
Gotcha. And if it's owned by an entity, then you're really limited to what is owned by the entity, or I mean, it's not skip tracing for you, right? And seeing who's tied to this entity or anything like that.
This one's owned in a trust. So yeah, it's only matching the name. So it says under this trust, they have that many linked properties under that trust, or it could be potentially matching the mailing address as well. Right. So it's just matching the information, the records that tie together. So name or mailing address. And also shows like how many total open loans he has. He has about 3.5 million loans, but he has about this much in value. And this is the equity of his portfolio as well. So there's just, it gives you a lot of information for sure. Normally I just kind of pull the list and I send the mail, and then whoever responds, right? Because you never know who's interested, who's not interested. So I generally don't dig too, I mean, you can really dig, but I generally don't dig too much because I just want to get the list and I want to mail the list. And if they're interested, they're going to call me. And then maybe some of them I might skip trace or something. That's when I would probably dig, is like, I might take a day and say, oh, this one looks interesting, let me call them, you know? And then I can get access to their phone number in the matter of seconds. So if I did want to just, instead of mail them, if I wanted to call them, I can just get access to their phone number in the matter of seconds by skip tracing them. And I would either use PropStream. I would use PropStream if it's under an owner name, right? But if it's under an LLC, then I would skip trace them through batch skip tracing, because batch skip tracing will do LLCs. So from here we can go ahead and filter. So 5 units plus, right? And then I can get dialed in as well too. So we have 287. Essentially, that's a list right there that I can mail to. I want to mail everybody that's got over 5 units in Gaston County, right? And say, hey, I'm interested in buying multifamily in this area. Give me a call, right? Type stuff. And I'll show you how to do that. But I can add some things in here as well. So this is all like under agricultural, commercial. So let's say I wanted to add in, let's see what we got. Let's say I can add in hotels, hotel or motel, right? Right. I can add in the self-service laundromat if I wanted to. Mini warehouse and storage, right? So I can add in. All right, so there's not really any popping up. Let's see the motels. Not any in that area. But see, I can check that stuff and see what's in the area. And then the mobile home parks. I don't know if there's any mobile home parks in this county, but I can look for that as well. That would be under, that'd probably be under residential or something like that. I mean, you can target churches and stuff in here if you wanted to. A lot of different, I mean, different kinds of businesses, companies, stuff like that. You can target a labor camp.
Wow. It's just so much data.
It's a lot of data. Office buildings, stuff like that, condominiums, condominium offices, like this is all office type stuff, medical offices, residential. So right here, which we're already targeting most of this because we're doing 5 units plus. So that already hits all that broad. But if I want to make sure anything specific in there, like I could throw in duplexes if I want. A lot of duplexes will pop up, or quadplexes, mobile home or trailer park right here. So actually there is some mobile home trailer parks in this area.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so you see how my search just went up to 412 by clicking on mobile home trailer park. Right? If I wanted to throw in quads, I could throw in quads as well, you know? But if we want to stay 5 units and above, then we don't have to do that. If I want to throw in triplexes, we could throw in triplexes as well. But here's our search right here. So we have 412, and I can take out mobile home parks if you want me to take out mobile home parks or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think, and is anybody here interested in doing that? Looking at that?
Not really.
I mean, yeah.
I would be, but I don't want to dilute anything. I would say take it out.
So here we have a pretty good list, right? And then all this stuff pretty much hasn't been on the market. Now you can look at it and see like the equity, like their negative equity on some of these, right? Because we didn't do any equity searches or anything like that, nor do we even care because we want to see the financials, right? We want to see the T12s and stuff when it comes down to it. So it's not like we're just looking for equity here because we're looking for cash flow. But some of these you can see like the photos and stuff. So you can see like you got stuff like this off market. It'll tell you how many units as well. You can see that these people, how long they've owned it for. So maybe one thing that you want to target when doing a list is when they've owned it for more than 5 years. You know what I mean? That might be something you want to target because if they just got it last year, I'm pretty sure you might be wasting your mail.
Well, one thing I wouldn't mention is that if people that are gonna
Inherited.
get in trouble, where they've purchased maybe like a year ago, like a heavy value add where they have a bridge loan product, and now they have to refi out, right? That could be something too, like somebody who's gonna have to sell, you know?
Or what could happen if you do like less than the 5 years ownership too? What could happen is somebody could actually inherited the property, right? So sometimes I don't like when I'm looking for certain things, I don't really care if they got it a month ago, because I find that if I target just everything, I get a lot of people who like actually just inherited the property and they don't really care about it. They'd rather just liquidate.
Yep.
Right. But if I did 5 years owned, they've owned it for 5 years or more. But if I did just anything, you can find people who actually just inherited the property because that happens too sometimes. Right. So the title just kind of transferred to them by inheritance.
I would imagine that people who inherit property, you're not going to see like too many 60 units just being inherited to one person, right? It would be like very small, like 4 unit, 5 unit, 10 unit, things like that.
Yeah. I recently talked to a lead who said that they were going to pass it on to their children and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't remember how many units it was, but I recently talked to a commercial lead who did say, no, that's going to my children. And I was like, oh,
16
okay.
unit property that I sold a couple years back was, we bought that from a kid whose dad died. Like not a kid, but somebody around our ages whose father died, and it went to them through an inheritance. So it does happen.
There was a property we went walking last Friday where is 48 unit apartment complex and 86 unit storage, and same thing, right? It went to 2 daughters, and they were like, I don't know what to do with this.
Wow.
Inherited leads are hot too. Inherited leads are hot because they just, a lot of times they don't have that emotional attachment to it more than they just want the money.
Right. Yeah. And they probably, a lot of them were never in the business and don't want to start. Like you said, all they want is cash.
They want cash to do what they want to do. So, but this one's interesting. You can see that, look, you can see that, that they actually bought this one cash for 13 million in 2018. Right. And you can see class, I guess, C+ building quality. It's got a pool. It's 8 buildings. 8 buildings. A lot of times it'll tell you the unit count as well. A lot of times it will tell you the unit count. I just don't know. You can find that in here, but it'll tell you the unit count, and then it'll tell you like, you know, what the county appraisal is and stuff like that. Oh, right here, 135 units. And then it said it's estimating 8 vacant as well out of the 135. Cash for 13 million. Look at that. So, but yet they got a mortgage on it. So they probably bought it private cash and refinanced it. Do you see what I'm saying? And here's their loan payment. And here's their loan balance. Right. So I'm assuming they bought it cash and probably refinanced it, and here's their estimated rate too. So it'll give you some of that stuff too, like what is their rate. So if you wanted to talk to somebody about maybe like seller financing or something like that, and kind of looking at their rates, commercial loan. All right. So, I mean, you can literally just dig as much as you need to dig, right? As much as you want to dig. For me, I just like to pull the list. So let's say I can take this list. Anybody want anything else out of this list, or to see anything else out of this list? Or do you want to see the next step?
Next step.
Okay. All right, and okay, this is where it's going to get real cool, because once I save the list, it's going to give me even more bulk data. So let me just go ahead and save this list right now. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to add it, and I'm going to create a new list. So I'm going to type Gaston County 5+ units. So this is everything over 5+ units in Gaston County, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. And so it's going to save it to my properties. And with this software, it only does, you can send postcards through here, but I wouldn't send postcards to commercial leads. I don't really do that. I send mail, like actual letters and stuff like that. And I'll show you the mail pieces that I use on the computer. But okay, so it's already saved right here. I'm going to go to my properties, and then it's right here, Gaston County 5 units plus. This is what's cool. So out of this, I clicked it, and it's already pre-sorting it for me. So out of these 287, I can see that 3 are on the market currently, right? I can see that actually 7 of them just recently sold, right? I can see that 1 appears to be vacant. It's a quadplex that seems to be vacant. It's probably really distressed or something like that. You know what I mean? Number of units. So normally you won't see these vacants in here with this type of stuff. This might just be like a nasty torn up property type stuff, right? I can see that out of 287 of them, 166 have high equity. That's really cool, right? I like to look at that stuff because I can generally just get better deals when they have more equity in it.
Nick, question for you.
Yeah.
On the multifamily side, how is it calculating equity? Because I imagine with the residential stuff, it's a little bit easier to look at comps and whatnot. But as far as multifamily, how is it determining value?
Just off of it's kind of like the public, it just pulls all the public record data, and it's an assumption, right? But it looks at like the mortgage amount. So you can see that this person only has a $250,000 mortgage amount on it right now, and that they're estimating the value to be 1.8 mil.
Yeah, I guess the mortgage amount, that's known, but as far as the estimated value, that's where I'd be a little bit like skeptical on the commercial side,
right?
More than the residential.
Yeah, it's just yeah, exactly. It's not going to be spot on, more than it's just like more of like an algorithm pulling all the public records and county valuations and just giving you an idea, especially when you look at the tax information, right? This is the tax assessment. You see that? So it knows that there's some value there. Now this might not be, it could be worth 2-3 million. You know what I mean? But it's just saying like per the value of the property, like what it's pulling, and comparable sales in the area, because it says comparable and nearby listings, right? Which sometimes you're not going to have a bunch because we're looking at apartments and stuff like that. This was a comparable sale that they're using in the area. So it's pulling in all the information that it can, right? And so it's just giving you a general idea that, hey, this is probably valued to be X amount. Let's see, this one, captain's quarters. Okay, so it doesn't really have any. So it's probably just pulling from whatever information that it has, because this is actually captain's quarters that we're looking at, right? So it's probably just pulling like I can already see that it's pulling the tax assessment, right? The tax assessment and saying, hey, it's at least valued this much and it only has $250,000 on the loan. So it is still high equity. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
Gotcha.
I mean, as far as like the cash flow it's producing, we don't really know that, right? So I mean, it could actually be worth a lot more because it could be bringing in a lot more than just the taxable value. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I bring this up is because that might be an easy filter for residential. Do they have negative equity? Do they have a lot of equity, whatever it
Mhm.
is? But I feel like maybe it's a little bit less confident with commercial.
Yeah, it's not going to be spot on because commercial is based off the cash flow, right? So it's really it's probably just looking at this right here that, hey, this is worth, 1.1 million on the taxable value. And and this person only has a $250,000 note on it.
Yeah, the only reason why I bring that up is because that may not be a viable filter for the list, which I don't think you filtered based on equity anyway.
No, I didn't filter on equity. It's just kind of letting me know. But what else is cool here too is look, 166,000 they assume have high equity because they're like saying low note balances, right? Low mortgage balances. That's what their low mortgage balances compared to, the taxable value. But I can also see right here that 149 of these are actually owned out free and clear. There's no notes on them. They purchased it cash. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's obviously much more useful.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, it kind of, I like how it does give you a general idea of what your list looks like though. So you got a couple on the market, a couple that were sold, a couple that they assume are high equity, a couple they assume are low or negative equity. And then definitely you can see what doesn't have a note on them that was purchased free and clear. And none of them are in bankruptcy. None of them has this, tax liens or anything like that. None of them are pre-foreclosed and auction bank owned, stuff like that. Right. And so like, even if I click my Chattanooga list, 230,000, 149 of these are free and clear. If I click my Knoxville list, right. And I like the free and clear because that just tells me like good opportunity for maybe seller finance. Right. Be able to talk some seller financing with them because they don't owe anything. This one has a lien. This is Knoxville. 536 of these are owned out free and clear. Right. And these free and clear, those could be some of these could be your inherited properties as well. Or sometimes people inherit a note too. Right. Just a general idea. But if we come back here, now I can pull this list and I would just mail to all of them. See me, I kind of just hit them all. And then if they're going to call me, that means they're interested. Do you see what I'm saying? I make sure that I get my message in front of them. And if they call me, that means that they're interested. All right. So I can pull this list. And then this is where I go to gobigprinting.com. That way I'm not having to stuff envelopes myself. And I can put this list in here. So I'll show you.
Is that the same thing we did for the ones we did? I thought we did it directly in PropStream.
What we did for PropStream is we actually did a campaign through PropStream, but PropStream does postcard campaigns. So I would do that for residential, but I don't really do postcards for
I see.
For commercial, right? So for commercial, I like to hit them with like a nice little letter, professional letter stuffed in an envelope with a first class stamp on them, some handwriting and stuff like that. So I'll show you my mail piece that I sent out on that. So if I go to leads and contacts and I go to my accounts, all orders, I'll show you a recent one that I just did. So you can see that, and I also did a residential campaign through here, but you can see I did a commercial campaign of 435 pieces here, another commercial campaign of 725 pieces, and then another commercial campaign of 142 pieces, right? and you can see what that cost me as well, as far as to mail it. And then this one was a 1,877 pieces. And I did a very specific postcard on this one. This was a postcard campaign because this was a street view campaign. So this actually sends them a picture of their house. You know, so that one's a very specific campaign. So if I click right here and I just go to download PDF, you can see what I sent out right here.
Hey, Nick, quick question. You mentioned that it puts the picture of their house. Does somebody actually go to Street View or drive there and take a picture of the actual condition of the house, or just
No, just Google Street View with that one.
Street View? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, that would be a lot of work.
I know this guy in Greenville, South Carolina, actually does that. He hires people. They do driving for dollars, and they'll take an
Mhm.
actual picture because the house looks like in disrepair, and the owner may not know
100%.
that because right, and then they'll send it with the actual picture of their house on it.
Yes, sir. And so these, like these mobile ones, these are my driving for dollar leads in here. And you'll see that I actually do hit commercial properties on driving for dollars. So I'll look like 12 Village Drive right here. Right. This was me like I passed by this complex every single day. Right. And then I was able to just kind of geotag it on my phone. I'm holding my phone, but you can't see it because I was able to geotag it on my phone, and it's owned under a personal name, right? And I can see where he lives and everything too. So I actually did skip trace him and contact him. And I also did send him a piece of mail. So on my driving for dollar leads, I do send a postcard when it comes to the commercial campaigns, but I send a larger postcard through PropStream with a picture of their property as well, right? So I did send this guy, a postcard.
What how do you organize that in your list if you do like a manual tag of driving for dollars?
So you can see, okay, I'll show you that too. So when I'm driving around, I just kind of like, you can see I was driving down this street and boom, I just geotagged this guy. Let me see if I can show you on my
You did that in PropStream through mobile.
through my phone. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. And so let me turn off my background and I'll kind of show it to you.
And then you choose whether or not you want to put that into a list, or maybe it automatically goes into a list of manually tagged properties or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because everybody that I'm mailing on PropStream will come up as like yellow little dots, but the red ones are the ones that I manually tagged.
Gotcha.
So let me do this, and I'm gonna go to.
Are those all quads or duplexes each?
Yeah, so you can see that this is all one parcel of land, right? They're all on one parcel of land, and these are all duplexes right here. And then this one is like an 8-plex, like quad and quad on the back. And so I literally took a picture of their property and sent it to them. Here we go, video settings, background and effects. How do I turn my background off on this thing? I don't even know.
So there are just no
There
background?
we go.
Okay.
All right, so here I am. I got my PropStream up, and you can see I got it on well, I got it on geolocate. So this is the map, right, of wherever I'm at. And
Oh, Nick, can you close the Zoom settings?
yeah, let me do that. That might help out a lot. All right, so see that I'm on the PropStream app, and while I'm driving around, I just kind of hit geolocate, right? And this will show me kind of where I'm at. I know it doesn't show that well, or I can type in an address. So for right now, I'm going to type in an address just to show you where I was at when I was driving for dollars. So that's 12 Village. That one's 12 Village Circle Drive. And that's Rossville, Georgia. So, and it's loading right now.
Nick, have you done a commercial campaign before last week?
No, I just started doing these commercial campaigns.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so from here, I can skip trace them, which I already did, or I can send them a postcard. You can't really see this stuff very well at all with the lighting, but I can send them certain postcards, right? There we go.
Well, you don't do that till you're getting the office, right, Nick? Like first you just geo it, photo, take a picture, and then get.
I'll do it right there, right on the road. Yeah, because like I'm making the postcard and then I snap my photo and then I put it in the postcard. So for example, this is like the dang, I wish I can show you guys a little
So that's if you're sending like a one-off postcard to these geotagged ones, right? That you would do
Yeah,
again. Otherwise, you would do it all at once if you're doing a full list.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll send a selfie of myself in front of their property on the postcard, you know what I mean? Just to show that
pretty
like,
funny.
hey, I'm local, I was here, I drove by it, you know what I mean? So I'll do that stuff. And I just like to capture people's attention, you know? But yeah, so it does have a driving for dollars feature. I can send them a postcard while I'm there. I can skip trace them and I can just give them a call, right? And when you skip trace them, you know, I'll come up with all different types of information and stuff like that. So the app is definitely a little bit different than the computer setting, right? But let's go to right here. And you can see this is the mail piece that I sent, right? So I was able to, and it pre-fills in everything. So you put like proper, and so when I'm doing like this whole list, it'll pre-fill in like the address that I'm connecting about, you know, who the owner is, their mailing address, all that stuff. And it just pretty much sends them a note. Really professional, thick paper too, thick paper. And then just kind of letting them know what I'm about right here. Hey, my name is, and I actually still took this letter from 7-Figure Flipping, right? So this is like one of them that they use, and I kind of took it and reused it, right? So my name is Nick Ferrantino. I'm a local real estate investor with Key Home Capital. We're looking to purchase, oh, this was for the acreage, right? This one was for the acreage, not for the commercial. But I did the same thing with commercial. It just said something a little bit different, right? So we're looking to purchase vacant acreage in the area, and your property at this address seems to be like a great fit for us. If you're thinking about selling or just want to grab a cup of coffee and talk business and real estate, give me a call. Here's my number, or email me at, there's my email. We're willing to pay fair market value for properties that fit within our investment goals. No games, no low balls, no commissions, no brokers. We're a small company, so you'd be dealing with me personally. We're serious and can move fast or as slow as you like. So even if you're tossing around the idea of selling, let's connect. P.S. I can promise you I'm not interested in wasting your time or my time for that matter. We're serious buyers and can move fast as slow as you like. If you're even tossing around the idea of selling, let's connect soon. Respectfully, signature, and then phone number.
That one sentence it says twice.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's not perfect.
That's good though.
I'm using the, I'm working on the same letter, actually. I took it from the 7F also.
Yeah. So see, I sent that and I put my little logo on top, right? But then it's got like my website right here, Chattanooga, Tennessee, my number. And so it looks really good. It's really thick paper too.
That's cool with the envelope. So you did it like.
And then this is the envelope that I chose, a little design with like, you know, personal. So it looks like a kind of like a greeting card in a way. You know what I mean? Like captures their attention. So Key Home Capital, looking forward to connecting with you soon. And that's their name. So
And
they
it,
have
and it shows that you're a local guy too, you know, like you're local to the area in the envelope.
Yep. So, I mean, that's the mail piece that I use. Literally, I'm just trying to send something out. If they're interested, they're going to contact me. And I've had a couple people contact me already. So if I go into my CRM, and so I use Go Big Printing to send the mail as well. The stuff that they put a first class stamp on it, all that good stuff. If I go into like my campaigns right here in my CRM, I have my my commercial campaign already started, so I can see how many people have responded to that mail piece so far, right? So commercial. And so you can see that I've got 4 new leads, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, I had people call me. Tuesday, I had 2, probably when it dropped. Wednesday, I had 1. Friday, I had another 1. And then, oh yeah, and I might have got a call on Sunday or something like that, you know? So I have
What
5
is,
people.
So I guess Gonzalo and Nick, y'all have been kind of huddling together on some things. Like what's been like the agreement I guess y'all have come up with? Like if, if Gonzalo says, hey, look, help me find something in this zip code or something like that, and you manage to source something for him, like
Just cover the
what
cost.
then for y'all?
Just cover the cost.
Well, the one that we're looking at was just a single family, there's really nothing to it,
Yeah.
But we talked about it a little bit, like if we do something in the Carolinas for like land or a multifamily, and we can get maybe seller financing, like anybody who may be interested in going in on it, and put in their fair share of work to operate and all that, I think could be an opportunity for people here to be involved in something like that,
Right. And I'm really just showing you because this is something that y'all can do for yourself. It's real simple and easy. You know what I mean? That's why I'm showing, like PropStream, $99 a month. You can pull a list. Like, and even if you want to use PropStream or not, I just like the easy access to pulling a list, but you can pull a list and you can still, you can pull it from anywhere else. Maybe you want to filter it from somewhere else or something like that, but you can still use Go Big Printing to stuff and mail your envelopes too. Right.
Nick, where do the calls go into?
The calls, I'm a very system and process type guy. So this number right here is actually a tracking number, right? So I can keep track of who's calling in and who's not. So I have this system called CallRail.
Okay.
Right. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of it. And if I come over here, commercial mail leads. So that's my number that I use for the commercial mail leads, right? This is like regular residential direct mail and stuff like that. This is my website number, right? So anytime somebody calls from that number, it says call from commercial mail lead, press 1 to accept. And then I know exactly who's calling, and what campaign is calling from. But then that also, when they call that number, it also creates a tracking in my CRM. So if I come in here, integrations, that's my webhook. So anytime they call that number, it'll create a profile and I know it's a commercial web lead or a commercial lead.
Is that CRM component, is that part of CallRail? That's you separately, something you have?
No, this is separately. This is called Investor Fuse.
Gotcha.
With CallRail, can you choose the area code? So if you're only looking in Charlotte area, yeah,
you can pretty much order any number you want. So see, I can just create a number right here, use it offline. I can choose where I want that to where I want it to go, because all the numbers forward to my phone as well. So I just boom, and I can call them back or whatever. So I come here and then I can just kind of type in any specific zip code that I want the number to be, or I can do a toll-free number, and you can set up call flows and stuff like that as well, to where it can go direct to certain people. It can, if they call that number, it leaves a certain message, all that stuff.
You can do text campaigns too, maybe, or
you can send text messages. I send a lot of text messages, but not like text blasting. You can see that somebody was just calling me like just now while we're on this call.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I send a lot. So look, Ronald Village Drive Apartments. You see that?
Yeah.
This guy.
Hello, all those are basically like all VoIP numbers. You can't just say, hey, like track my text messages in this phone if I give permissions or anything like that.
Yeah, they're VoIP numbers for sure.
What do you use for your return address? Is it to your home, or do you have like a PO box for your business?
I use my business address. You can use any address you want. You can use your home address, anything like that. But I use my business address.
So Nick, the way I see it is like you have everything set up already. It's like, I don't know if it would make sense for one of us to go and like build this entire thing just to do a campaign.
Agreed.
So that's why, I don't know, Nick, Jared, you're doing something, right?
I told you I'm a system and process guy.
Right.
I got to be organized in some way, at least a little bit.
So we want to leverage your system and then go all in together and pay for the campaign, split it. That's the way I see it.
And that's fine. Like I can always, like that's what I say, I can always target, whatever areas We can always send the mail, and you can see what it costs to send the different pieces and stuff like that. I mean, it's just very simple stuff. But I mean, this isn't even a system. This is more like a marketing center that I use. Go Big Printing. I just have a login, and it just shows my past orders and my order history and stuff like that. But this is not even a paid for system. It's not like a monthly cost or anything like that.
I'll be a little bit more direct. Would you be willing to help us run campaigns in our respective target markets if we paid you enough?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that's the best way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. Y'all are pulling the easy button here. I get it.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you wanted to pull certain areas and stuff like that and get some mailers out there, maybe that the return mail comes to you or whatever like that too. We can always do that. That's not a problem at all.
And obviously, if we find something, we'll all look to, well, I can't speak for anybody else, but if we find something, obviously you'd be the first choice to partner on something like this too.
Yeah. And just, what's really cool too. I want to show you, because I just want to show you a little bit about like the response that already came in, right? Too. So let's see, these are yard signs that I have, commercial mail lead. Let's do commercial mail lead, Heather Prater. Look at this. So just so you can listen up a little bit, all my calls are recorded. You can see kind of how this went. Can y'all hear Can y'all hear that?
Hey, Nick, how you doing, buddy? Wonderful. How can I help you today? So you actually reached out to a client of mine, Bobby Keys, about the property that he owns at Lakeview Circle in Saudi Davies, Tennessee. Lakeview Circle.
I don't know. I just know him up.
That's the land, right? Yes, sir. Okay. Well, yeah, I think he texted me, and then I texted him back, and I was asking him about because I think he's getting ready about some water and sewage, and I just wanted to see where he was at on that. Yeah, I could definitely get some info on that from you. Or are you just kind of wondering, maybe when he's putting sewers in, or if he's putting sewers in? Just kind of looking at the overall opportunities there. I know it's a large parcel of land, and just kind of seeing where it's at right now, so we can kind of look over it to see if it's something that we would be interested in.
And I'm gonna skip it forward a little bit because it's about a 30-minute call. But you can see how good this call went.
Numbers, stuff like that, but then the hard due diligence goes when we're actually under contract, stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. All right, brother. Well, let's definitely stay in touch. Let's stay in touch, and like I said, I'll have this information for you. Shortly. I mean, I'll talk to him this evening. I think
I told about 60-day due diligence period. You see that on my notes and stuff.
Would be a problem, Nick, because I think he was pushing for more of closing in January. With him selling kind of what he has over the years just for tax purposes. It's kind of
Nick, was that the broker that called you then, or the realtor?
It sounds like it could have been his broker or maybe his just go-to guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The whole situation, because a lot of times they're like,
Cool.
Totally cool. Great conversation.
really need to sell this,
For sure.
so I'd rather
Yeah.
not put all these taxes.
I don't have to listen to the whole thing,
Yeah.
but yeah, see it's 34 minutes there, but
Yeah, exactly. That's why I kind of skipped through a little bit. You can see though, it did really
I like the
well.
transcription it does for you there.
Those coin-operated car washes.
Oh, I started talking about other stuff. Get out of here.
That's so convenient that it records it though, and you can actually go
Yeah.
back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
record all
CallRail
my-
is kind of the industry standard right now for call and text.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can see the result. That was just my first week sending it out. And I get this guy with, 100 and something acres giving me a call, and he was checking out my website. And I was like, yeah, let's, you can set up a Zoom call with me at any time. And we talked about a lot, a lot. Right. I told him about, hey, we need 60-day due diligence period, all that good stuff. He's like, oh, that's totally understandable. Typical. He wasn't expecting me to pull a rabbit out of a hat or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I even talked about him. Maybe if the owner would want to finance 50% of it. Right. to save themselves from taxes, finance 50% of it. You know, I told them, hey, what we do is we raise capital. Like I literally told them everything. Like we would go to the bank for financing. We'd probably raise about 30% of it down. The bank would finance 70%. Or if the seller wanted to hold a note and maybe get 50% of his money up front and then hold a note for the other 50%. So we talked about a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? 10,000 an acre. I told you that. You mentioned in conversation, 10,000 an acre. So that's just show you a little bit of the results. And you can see like, obviously a couple people have already called in on just the small mailers in just those areas.
And there's some land opportunities where, I mean, if it's on a highway and you know it can be rezoned from resi to commercial, where you can negotiate, you know, I'll give you an offer that's pending upon rezoning.
Yeah.
Right. And they'll just be under contract for 9 to 12 months with you, you know, like that's insane.
Actually, I want to show you actually another good call that came in just real, and this was a lot shorter. Let's go to campaigns and, oh man, this was the motel in Nashville. There's a motel in Nashville. For sure. This was my very first call I came in on a commercial lead. I missed the call. First, she texted me and then I got back to her. It was my very first commercial lead drop. Janice Bell. Oh, check this out. Voicemail.
Mr. Ferrantino, this is Janice Bell. I received a letter that you were interested in some property that I have on Ole Highway in Oldwall. I do have
Janice
something
Bell.
for sale if you'd like to return the call. My number is 423-894-93.
That's one, but that's not the motel. There's a motel in Nashville. What's this one? Here we
Hey,
go.
my name is Shabana calling from 95 Wallace Road. I got a mail from you. If you can return my call at 205.
It works, guys.
This shit works, man.
It works. Proof is in the pudding. But hold on. We had a good call though. Hold on. Here we go. So then she texted me, you know, we texted back and forth a little bit and then we got on a call, not that long, but this is really cool. This is a motel in Nashville.
Hi there, Nick speaking.
Hey, Nick, this is Shabana.
Hey, Shabana, how are we doing today?
I'm sorry, I missed your call and I called you, but busy, I guess. But
No,
I
that's
just
okay.
received your letter and I was just wondering what you have to offer. And by the way, I was not interested in selling, but I'm getting too many letters like yours.
Yeah.
Call.
Yeah. Well, we're really looking to pick up some more kind of like commercial properties throughout Tennessee. Me personally, I'm just kind of targeting Tennessee right now. Looking at
Let's see the motel.
so right now, what we're currently looking for is
Yes, so what is your specific need?
Here we go.
say that one more time.
Well, if you said you're trying to buy some specific types of properties. What is that specific need?
So right now, what we're currently looking for is large multifamily, anything 5 units and above. We're looking for mobile home parks. We're looking for cash flowing assets, period. But we're looking for motels because we recently, our partners actually.
She told me she had a motel.
Well, they're almost done with it, but we're doing a motel conversion out in Nashville where we just bought a motel and like we're making them all like it's like a little.
That's the
Airbnb.
7-figure guys, the ones that we walked. They're doing that motel conversion.
And that's the Bordeaux area of Nashville.
Is
So
it
just stuff like that.
Capstone?
Say again.
Is Capstone your partner?
You know. I'm a
She asked if
family man,
Capstone
so
was my
I'm
partner.
pretty much
No.
out of the That's until that-
The brokers?
Feel something on
Yeah,
that.
that's why I was like, no, the brokers, like it's the
Yeah.
same thing. She asked if Capstone was my partner
Also
The developers.
because they've been hitting her up too, Capstone. That's why she said that.
Yeah. Well,
Huh.
we're not really.
So
I
she
mean,
said,
I'm sold, Nick. If we can continue this conversation and do some stuff around this Carolinas, I think
This
people
is
here would be
pretty cool.
interested. Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to show you kind of like a little bit of the responses that come in. Like people do call in, you know?
Nick, do you personally, also market out of state, like out of your immediate market? Or you just? do it-
Right now, I mean, I can replicate this anywhere, but just right now, personally, I'm just hitting Tennessee. Like,
Gotcha.
I'm just hitting those 3 areas. I'm not touching Memphis with a 10-foot pole because I really don't enjoy Memphis at all.
Okay.
but I just hit those 3 MSAs really right now, but you can do it anywhere.
And
Yep.
Nick, if we end up doing something like here, Carolina, is there any way you can direct those calls to me? So it's not like bombarding you with tons of calls, you know, so I'd be able to pick
Yes.
up, maybe Jerry can pick up, Mark, or
Yes.
whatever, you know?
100%. 100%. I can direct the call right to your cell phone.
Yeah. This
And
is-
it will literally whisper a message, call from North Carolina commercial campaign, and press 1 to accept 1. And then you just answer. And it can send it to both of you guys at the same time. Right. So whoever picks up first, or it can round robin. That's what you can do within CallRail.
Awesome. Okay.
That's cool.
This has been great, Nick. Appreciate the share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome
great.
systems.
Awesome, guys. Well, I mean, that's it. Obviously, if you have any questions, just let me know. But I just wanted to give you a brief rundown on how we do that stuff. And now I can stop sharing my screen.
Great. Yeah, let's continue this conversation.
Perfect.
Say hello to Janice Bell for me.
Janice, hell, Nick, this is Janice Bell.
Got some property for sale.
Yeah, it was great though, right?
Definitely
sure.
some down home Southern accent there, Southern drawl.
That
And
was
of
deep.
course, man, you know, nobody lays down the first call. So it's just building relationship and power in the follow-up, you know?
Yep.
But
Power
speaking
follow.
of, how often do you follow up with somebody like that?
As often as necessary. Like I'm actually going to be following up with all the commercial guys by tomorrow because it's Monday, right? So we spoke last week, and then some of them I'm going to be checking back in. So I'll be checking back in with that large acre of land. I'm going to be checking back in with the motel lady because her partner hasn't called me yet. She was supposed to have her partner call me. She gave him my phone number. I was like, "You want me to call him?" Or she's like, "No, I'll have him call you." Okay, great. He hasn't called me, so I'm gonna call her back tomorrow just to say, "Hey, your partner hasn't called me. Just wanted to find out, you know, all that stuff." So I'm always following up as need be, right?
Okay.
Just to show them I'm not a fly-by-night thing. I'm here to talk and whatever.
What's,
No, that makes sense.
what's your cadence on the, oh, sorry. Garrett.
I was gonna say, how many campaigns would you typically run on a property?
I would run it every once a month. I would send a mail piece out once a month.
And
Right.
would you just keep going till you get a response, or would you eventually just kick it out like after 6 months or something?
Man, I used to do a lot of direct mail, and I noticed that sometimes they might a lot of people might ignore the first message. Yeah, you'll get calls in the first one, and I'll keep hitting that same list every single month. So a lot of people might it might end up in the trash the first time, right? But then once you keep hitting them every month and they keep seeing you, then you know maybe by the second or third or fourth time you'll get people calling you, right? So I would just hit them once a month for probably at least 6 months.
Yeah, okay.
At least 6 months. That way they continue to see me in front of their face. And then the thing is, situations change. Maybe right now they're not considering it, but maybe something happens, right? And 3 months later, they're like, yeah, I want to sell. Right. So I always want to catch, I always want to be in front of them at the right time. Right. So I would hit that same list once a month. I may slightly change my mail piece though, every single month, but I would keep certain things the same so they recognize me every time they come in. So I might keep the envelope the same, right? And just change a little bit of things, but my message might be slightly different. Hey, I'm just reaching out again, right? Hey, I just wanted to check in again. I'm not going to send the exact mail piece, but I want to make sure, that's why I put my logo there. I want to make sure that they're constantly recognizing me every single month.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Guys. Good stuff, man. We'll be talking.
That's awesome.
All right, we'll continue this.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let me know if you have any questions, and I really appreciate you guys.
Have a good week, guys.
Have
Thank
a
you,
good
Nick.
one, guys.